What's up, everyone? This is the Next Take podcast with Mikel and
Tanyka.
for real conversations on different topics. So today is a free for all episode, and basically we're going to be talking about whatever.
Whatever it is
Teacher.
that we talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything that you have in mind to talk about?
So basically, yeah. Well, we kind of touched on this on a last episode a little bit.
Yeah,
So I did send you a article.
you
Um,
did?
yeah.
Just now?
Well, like two like the couple days ago.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, yeah.
we touched on it on the last episode. So like the Whitby movie theater.
Mhm.
So somebody basically a Canadian YouTuber from probably Durham or probably the GTA. Don't know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Basically does pranks or whatever. I saw this on CB24 at first, right?
Mhm.
And then I read the article on DurhamRegion.com as well that they actually got charged, which
No,
good
of course,
for
yeah.
them. Um, and when I saw it on CB24, it was so stupid. Like, why would you go in the theater for a prank? Whitby Theater, Landmark, that is. Um, and go by the entrance like section and yell out, "There's a gun! There's a gun!"
The problem is that I feel like I'm trying to remind myself where I've seen this,
Mhm,
but, um, I feel like we've seen, like, in particular, like, documentaries and stuff like that of, um, people who take influencing, if you wanna call it that in this case,
mhm, mhm.
or YouTube creators or just say content creators who take things too far
Yeah.
because they think they're doing it for clicks. They think it's not, um, they think that it's not gonna be harmful or anything
Mhm,
like that, but
mhm.
I'm gonna assume this person is young, and I hope they're young because I hope an older person knows better, but, who knows? But I'm gonna assume he's young, and the problem with the young people these days, especially those who, you know, wanna do these types of content or whatever, they don't think all the way through, they don't like, I haven't seen the documentary. I I think that my mind is just I don't want to put this into my world right now. Maybe one day I'll get to it, but I've definitely listened to other podcasters talk about this particular documentary,
Mhm.
and that's the, um, Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary that's on Netflix, and one of the people thought that it would be a good idea to, quote, unquote, "prank" somebody into thinking that they were meeting somebody, I believe it was, but they were gonna be, like, exposing this person as a predator.
Mhm.
What made that person a predator, I do not know, but they essentially, like, beat this guy up. Now, he took it down because he realized, "Oh, darn, like, I might get into some trouble if I keep this up." Um, but that's the thing is, I mean, that's a completely different extreme because these are people
Mhm.
who are men's rights now type of situation, but the, um, the general gist of it is people don't think before they do things and don't think about the ramifications of things that they're
Yeah,
doing,
I agree.
and then there's also that part, but then there's also you're not you don't know people's journeys in life, you don't know what they've been through. You
Mhm.
yelling "gun" in a movie theater, you
Yeah.
don't know if there's someone in there who's experienced a school shooting
Mhm.
or a mass shooting
Mhm.
or has been shot before or, has had a gun pointed at or whatever it is,
Yep.
have some form of fear around this topic, or just it's simply having a fear, even if you were never directly affected by, some sort of gun violence.
Mhm.
You could have just some form of anxiety around something that you the experience. For example, which I'll talk about this more when we do our screen take episode. I did it, I remembered this time on my own.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't mean to, but I watched, a documentary on Disney Plus. I think it's National Geographic. I'm not sure if it was that, but
Yeah,
anyway.
National Ge yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I don't know because I think they do have some National Geographic documentaries on Disney Plus, but I can't remember if this
yes, they
was
do.
National
Yeah,
Geographic.
yeah, yeah.
But nonetheless, it was a documentary on 9/11.
Mhm,
And then I also watched another thing on Netflix that was, New York Homicide, which I love New York Homicide. I love, like, the New York/LA homicide because of the structure of it.
uh-huh,
But what I didn't anticipate was that the final episode was going to be about 9/11, and I'm like, "Oh god," like, I just literally finished watching that one
mm,
documentary and then watching the other one. But I realized while watching both of them
mhm,
that my obviously, I was not there. Obviously, wasn't directly affected by what happened that day. I wasn't there.
mhm,
However, when you're seeing the imagery at 10 years old of what happened that day and having fears that something is flying into your house or whatever when you're 10 and you can't quite understand how any of this would happen,
right,
how anyone in our lifetime, whether you were there or you witnessed what was going on your television screen, we can't fathom how that even happened. So
mm,
the point I'm trying to make here is I wonder if a lot of my anxiety around things that I have no control over could
mm,
have stemmed from that imagery
mm,
and seeing that, oh my God, these something can just fly into a building just like
yeah,
that, and you have no control over that. Um, so the point I'm trying to make is people have anxieties around things, whether they were involved in it or not.
mhm, mhm,
We have anxiety around things because it's like, if the world is that evil that we can have, you know, terrorist attacks that killed thousands, or people going into a school and shooting people up for their own selfish reasons, or a person going into a movie theater and actually shooting people in a movie theater
mhm.
while watching Batman.
Yeah,
These things happen.
yeah,
So
I'm about to yeah, I was about to
yeah,
mention it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so for and that's not the only movie theater shooting, it's one of
Mhm.
the more infamous ones, but it's not the only one. Um, I think it
Yes.
had the most casualties.
Mhm,
But the thing is, like, people like this who think it's funny,
mhm,
that people's anxieties or people's pain is funny, that you
mhm,
think that going into a movie theater and yelling "gun" is going to be funny.
mm,
Yeah, you're a sick individual. This isn't funny.
mhm.
Like,
I agree.
me watching I watched that 9/11 documentary, and I'm like, "I'm gonna do this to myself again, whatever."
Mm,
But I'll talk about it more then, but I really enjoyed the one that I watched on Disney Plus because it was very, really victim focused.
mhm,
I I watched the one that was on Netflix that came out of I think a couple years ago. I didn't particularly like that one because it was very yes,
mm,
it was 9/11, but then it was also the aftermath of 9/11 in terms of the war and stuff. I
mhm,
don't
mhm,
I didn't wanna go there. This one was very focused on the day what happened that day, the people affected by that day. So that was
Yeah,
very different.
yeah,
And I'm just there bawling and crying and shaking at, like, the imagery and what happened that day and things I also, like, I didn't know before that I learned while watching that particular one, and it's like, that's not funny.
yeah.
And again, even a person I will never forget well, I'm sorry, I have to mention Dr. Phil here, ooh,
Mhm, mhm,
but
mhm, mhm,
I remember a person going on the Dr. Phil show who pretended to be a part of 9/11,
mhm,
and I will never understand someone who thinks it's funny or you you wanna insert yourself in some way in a tragedy. I'm very careful on how I will talk about how 9/11 affected me
mhm.
because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Um, and I was young, but I'm very careful about that. I'm never gonna be like, "Oh, I'm the whatever," I will never insert myself in that way. 'Cause I didn't experience what some of those people experienced. But anyway, it's not funny. People's
Yeah.
trauma is not funny.
Yeah, you
People's
did.
anxieties or whatever, panic around certain things, it's not funny,
Mhm. I agree.
but
You did the
people
words
think
out
it
of
is.
yeah, yeah. You took the words out of my mouth. So basically, yeah, the police did further in uh investigations and revealed that it was 2 23-year-olds men and
Okay,
a
well,
s- and a seven
young
and a 17-year-old.
and a 17-year-old, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why no offense, I don't know why 23-year-olds hang with a 23-year-olds are hanging with a 17-year-old, but
I guess it would
that's
depend. I
maybe their
would
brothers, probably brothers,
maybe there could be real one of the he could
cousins.
be related to one of them
Yeah,
or
yeah,
both of
yeah,
them or whatever in some way.
yeah,
Um, but again, it's like technically, like, 23 is young.
yeah,
23, yes, you're considered an adult,
uh-huh,
and you would hope that the quote unquote adults in the room would know better, but
mhm,
I feel like we're in a society where, that generation doesn't have a lot of smarts when it comes to certain things.
mhm,
Um, you have that generation who's like, "I
mhm,
wanna be a content creator," which there's nothing wrong with being a content creator. Hello, we are technically
mhm,
content creators, but
mhm, mhm,
there's
mhm,
nothing wrong with that.
mhm,
But you have to do it in such a way where you're not hurting other people,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, 100% agree with that. They face charges including causing disturbance and mischief. So I don't know if that's a steep charge. I had to take a look at it, do my research on
um,
it. I don't
mischief
know if it's
could, depending, but, um, I don't I don't think it'll be a lot, especially if
mhm,
they're first-time offenders. They're
mhm,
probably gonna get a very light sentence.
mhm,
Um, they're probably not gonna get away without getting a sentence of some kind. There's probably gonna be a light one. They potentially could even have some, like, house arrest type situation.
mhm.
And so if they are first-time offenders,
Probation, possibly.
well, yes, they're gonna potentially have probation as well. You're not gonna get away from probation even if you do
Mhm,
have time,
mhm,
um, that you have to deal with, but yeah, like, probation is part of this is always gonna be a part of it,
mhm,
but like I said, I don't think they're going to get away with this without having some kind of time served. Community service,
mhm. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, community service, definitely, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
so,
yeah. Okay. Um, well, yeah, just don't do that. Just
it's sad that you have to even say that, "Don't do that."
just yeah, people don't do that because you never know, you might be hurting somebody or you might be, uh, making somebody uncomfortable in the theaters by
But
doing
again, it's like, they don't care whether or not they're
Yes.
hurting people. That's the thing. They
Mhm.
don't care because 'cause they're
Mhm.
gonna justify it of, "Oh, this is a joke. No one actually had a
Mhm.
gun."
Mhm.
But it's just that fear of it's
Uh-huh.
possible
Mhm.
that, you know, that can happen.
Mm.
Like, it's
Yeah.
and you're disrupting not just people in the front door, you're disrupting the whole thing because people are gonna have to go into movies that are ongoing and have to tell people they have to lock down or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, it's not just like, "Oh, we're kidding." No. You're literally having an establishment have to go into lockdown.
Mhm.
That's it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
People suck, man, let me tell you.
Yeah. Some people do. Some
Most
people
people
do.
do. That's why I don't like people. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
um, so we've talked about this before on the show, and
Mhm.
it's been going for a little bit, but we haven't had an opportunity to talk about it. I wanted to save it for a bonus episode.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sure people have heard we did talk about the fact that they were doing a reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Well, Disney canceled it.
Mhm.
It's not happening. And the problem with the fact that it's being canceled is they're not able to take it to another network. Disney owns the rights to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Mm.
So it's unfortunately dead in the water. Um,
I heard a lot of people are happy about this because I think it's a
the hardcore fandom isn't that happy about it.
really, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the hardcore fandom is not happy about this. There are some that maybe who are fans but are, could take it or leave it type situation
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
are maybe a little bit more happy about it. I think there are people who are like, let's leave it alone. And I get that.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah. People.
I don't
People
know.
are
It's hard for me.
there's some people who are like, "Oh, why does everything have to be a reboot?" I don't know. We had a Raven. We had what do you call it?
They
Waverly
rebooted
Place
Raven, they rebooted
and
um
iCarly.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
not in my world. They rebooted Boy Meets World, Girl Meets World.
Yeah.
That didn't
Yeah.
go well. They
Yeah.
were gonna reboot Lizzie McGuire, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Um, I'm not sure exactly what the reason behind that was, but that didn't happen. Um, COVID could have been simple as that. COVID could have been the reason because it was kind of around that time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, there is another one that I heard they reboot. What was it? Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, they
That was
did that already.
rebooted.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
which
the 2 that did well was Raven and then
mhm,
Waverly Place and,
yeah,
iCarly, I believe. They did
yeah. I don't know.
those are the 2.
I probably it's not my world. That's more my brother's world. But
Yeah.
the yeah, I did hear Raven did well.
Mhm.
Wizard of Waverly Place did well.
Mhm.
Um, I think if the right people are have things in their hands,
Uh-huh.
like Selena Gomez was, I think, very a part of the production of Wizards of Waverly Place, the reboot,
Mhm.
and that's something that she's very comfortable in doing. Obviously, she's an executive producer of Only Murders in the Building. She did 13 Reasons. She is very much in that world, so I think that is probably a big reason why it did so well. Um, I can't speak on Raven, but I'm sure Raven was very much a part of that as well, and it probably helped
Yeah.
with, I mean, Raven-Symoné has been in this games before anyone here that we're talking about, you know what I mean? She's been in this game for a very long time. I think she knows how to make good television, so I think
Mhm.
that probably helped. And then with this, with Buffy, it's kind of like Sarah Michelle Gellar was gonna be she was very much a part of this. She, out of anyone,
Mhm.
understands what Buffy needs to be, and the thing is that a lot of money has already gone in to the making of this reboot. They filmed the entire first season
It did?
of yes, which is why
Really?
the shock
Huh.
is, why now did it get canceled when
Mhm.
the whole thing had been already filmed? And
So,
go ahead.
I'm guessing they didn't have faith in it because they did
That's what they
they
suspect.
yeah, because like, they they were going to not release Wonder Man, like, with Marvel,
Mhm.
and they were going to shelve it as well and put it with, what do you call it? Uh, override it with, like, in income tax, or what do you call that? Like, where you shelve a, TV show and then it becomes a tax. Oh my god.
Tax write-off?
There you go, tax write-off, yes,
Okay.
yes. So, they were gonna do that. I'm guessing that's they didn't have faith in this one?
Well, here's the thing, because I wanted to make sure I was getting
Yeah.
the right information here, and
Yeah, yeah,
luckily
yeah.
it's in this article
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Um, because of course, like Sarah Michelle Gellar come out with didn't come out with anything right away.
Mhm,
The director, who is Chloe Zhao, she didn't come out right away with anything either.
mhm,
But Sarah Michelle Gellar basically said, and I quote, and this is the problem. We had an executive on our show who not only not a fan of the original, but was proud to constantly remind us that he had never seen the entirety of the series and how it wasn't for him.
mhm.
That's very hard when you're taking a property that is as beloved as Buffy, not just
Right.
to the world, but to me and Chloe, meaning the
Mhm,
director.
mhm,
So that's the problem here. Um, and again, I think it's that selfishness of this particular executive producer who you're only thinking about yourself and what you like, but
mhm,
you're not thinking about the bigger picture. This show had 7 seasons for a reason. It wasn't like it, did
mhm,
back in the 90s, early aughts. It had 7 seasons.
mm,
And the show was very popular. Not only was there 7 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there was, like, what, 5 seasons of Angel?
mhm,
This show was pivotal at the time, and you may not like it, and that's your prerogative, but there is a huge fandom that does, and would have supported this project nonetheless. You would have made a return on this project nonetheless, because if at the very least curiosity of what you were doing, this show was talking about bringing people back who were killed off in the first place.
mm,
That meant Spike, who,
mm,
spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but come on now, Spike dies at the end,
mhm,
and they were talking about bringing Spike back. It's like, okay, how does that work? Because
mm,
he literally burned up in the Hellmouth. Explain it. But, they're talking about bringing these characters back who had died
mm,
in the original, kind of like
mhm,
with Scream 7. If at the very least people were gonna go see it for the curiosity of, "Oh, wait a minute, you're bringing killers back? Killers that are dead?
mhm,
What?" That sheer curiosity of what are you gonna do with that? I think that this particular executive doesn't have faith in maybe the show. So faith, faith. You don't understand. There's a character
Mhm,
named Faith.
mhm,
Anyways,
mhm,
you
mhm,
may not have had faith in the show, but then have faith in your viewership at the very
mhm,
least. And now you've shelved this.
mhm,
No one can now see this. Um, Sarah Michelle Gellar has urged people to, if you see leaks, don't look at them. I think
mhm,
in the back of her mind, she's thinking, maybe, maybe this will happen and people will get to see this.
mhm.
I don't know, but I mean, you're bringing people love this show. People loved Buffy. We loved Willow,
Yeah, yeah,
Giles. I mean,
yeah.
Giles. It's
Well,
just, it's sad
I
as
think
a fan.
well, I think when I was younger, I only watched, like, a few episodes. I
Mhm,
know about Angel, Buffy, and all that
mhm,
stuff. Know about
mhm,
that. That's how
mhm.
far as it goes for me, but, like,
Like, did you
yeah, I
know that
understand.
her and Spike were a thing at one point?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, okay.
I think I
Okay,
saw
well, you got
words
pretty
here and
far
there.
in there then.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
know, like, the
Um,
gist.
yeah, somewhat. But yeah, like I do think they should release the first season, in my opinion. See
If
how
they
it
filmed it,
goes.
what's the hurt? You know what I mean?
They didn't film it, or
No, they filmed it. They filmed it.
they filmed. Oh, so how
They
many?
filmed the entire first season.
Okay, so how many episodes have they filmed?
I don't know how many seasons were in
You know,
the and how many
yeah,
episodes were
have
in
they
the
been
season.
recorded? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, like they should, yeah, because like I said, they released Wonder Man, and then they didn't have faith in Wonder Man at first, but I think the producers like kept pushing and pushing and pushing Disney, so they released it all in one day, and it was received really well from the MCU fans.
And
So
that's
and
the
then
thing, like,
yeah, yeah,
at the very least, you're the fandom of these things that you own. So, for example, like the MCU or
mhm,
Star Wars or, like, those big things, and in my opinion, Buffy is a big thing for people who grew up watching it.
mhm,
It it's like, trust your viewership. The MCU is huge.
mhm,
Even if listen, they have done shows
mhm,
that were okay, I get it. But guess what? Your viewers are still going to watch it.
mhm,
Your viewers are still going to watch it. You're going to make some kind of return back.
mhm,
Your ratings and the comments on the show might not be the greatest, but guess what? You still have people watching the show.
yep,
So what is going to be so bad at this point to
mhm,
air Buffy, to air this first season? Here's the other thing. I I do not know if Xander, I'll say Xander because like his name first name's not coming to me right now, but
mhm, mhm,
I do not know if he was in the show or not. I didn't hear that he wasn't,
mhm,
but for whatever reason,
mhm,
if Xander was in there,
mhm,
we know Michelle Trachtenberg was not. She was already gone at that point before they
mhm,
started filming it. But what if he's in it and that was potentially like his last project?
mhm,
How amazing would that be for the fans to see him in that role one last time?
right,
And you're taking that away from the fans, from the hardcore fandom.
mhm,
Like, we're still out here, and I'm sure that the season of Buffy, or the series of Buffy, the original series, is being watched by people on Disney or whatever, like, come on. I mean, like, again, like, I talked about the fact that I rewatched the series because I was listening to, a podcast that was rewatching it.
Mm,
For those who know a rewatcher,
yeah.
and they did Buffy first. Right now they're doing True Blood, but they did Buffy first, and I imagine people who were watching it alongside of them.
Mhm.
Imagine the numbers
Yeah.
that came out of that. Honestly, I kid you not, I wonder if it's the numbers of people who would have been watching that during the rewatcher happening that could have prompted this to ever happen in the first place. So it's that goes to show your viewers are there, and
Mhm.
we will watch the hell out of this,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm pretty sure you guys will. Like
Yeah.
so Malcolm in the Middle got a
Th
reboot.
Do you see what I mean?
So
Malcolm in the Middle was
and it's
huge.
available right now. It's
I
available on
know.
Disney Plus right now.
Now,
So
I didn't watch Malcolm in the Middle religiously
it,
when it was originally on.
yeah,
I watched a couple
yeah,
episodes,
yeah.
but even I can appreciate
Mhm,
how cool that is that Malcolm in the Middle is a thing right now
mhm,
and that they redid it. And I'm sure it's gonna be well received because you wanna know why? The
mhm,
fans of that show are gonna turn up and watch it anyways.
mhm,
Doesn't matter if
mhm,
it's doesn't
mhm,
matter. They're still gonna turn up and they're still gonna watch it because we want that feeling, you know? We want that feeling of that show that we watched and remembering how old you were or what you were doing or whatever, you know? That's There's nothing better than that,
mhm,
you know? Going through the series, I'm like, "Oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember Liz. I remember sitting in my grandparents' living room watching this." Like, that's a good feeling, you know? Watching Scream for the first time,
mhm,
same thing, you know? And I remember telling my mom, like, "Yeah, well, I probably watched Scream for the first time when I was 9 years old," and she's like,
mhm,
"Where was I?" And I'm like, "Sleeping."
mhm, mhm.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That is why that movie is still ongoing. It is the fans
Mm,
that no matter how the movie might be, and trust me, the census is out. Not a lot of people liked the seventh movie for reasons, but
mm, yeah, yeah,
we're still gonna
yeah,
turn up and we're still gonna see that movie no matter how it might be.
yeah, yeah. The
And
Malcolm
they're
in the
doing an
Middle,
8th one, so
the
point
eighth one
taken.
of
Yeah, they're doing it because people turned up. We are curious. We wanna see Sydney again because we did not have
mhm.
her in the 6th movie. We wanna see what's gonna happen. You're saying killers are coming
Oh,
back.
oh, oh,
Hello. We're
oh.
curious. We wanna see it, and guess what? They're getting what they need by
So you,
curiosity alone.
so you're talking about Jenna Ortega returning to the?
No, 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 I'm talking, Neve Campbell, the
Oh, next.
OG,
Oh, 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 okay,
Sydney
all right,
Prescott, that's,
okay.
and then also Matthew Lillard coming back and hearing
Mhm,
that Scott Foley was coming back, and
mhm,
we're like, "How?
mhm.
How is they're dead?" Um, well, I was not so sure about Sue, but
Yeah,
we talked about that. I'm not gonna rehash it. But
yeah.
anyways,
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Going back to Malcolm Mills be received really well right now. Like I'm seeing on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 78% of the critics really
mhm,
like it, and then 77% of the audience really like. So it's being well received right now. So yeah, I agree with your point. They should. I think they should give it a chance if they ever want to release the first season of Buffy, the new Buffy, the Vampire Slayer reboot. Then they should try, but we'll never know. They might do it as a tax write-off, so and not release it ever. Uh, I also do remember uh the the Ace. Do you remember the Warner Brothers situation too? Ace versus Coyote.
no,
Uh, they weren't going to release that either. Like it was like a animated. It was like remember Roger Rabbit
mhm,
type of animation, like
yeah,
real
yeah,
life
yeah,
and yeah, but what it's that
yeah,
I think that's that similar situation.
Okay.
They weren't gonna release it, but they were gonna do a tax write-off, but because of the fans' uh, uh, loud uproar, I think a studio bought the rights to that, movie, and
Mhm.
now they're gonna release it to theaters. So
Yeah, and I wish that we could have that
mm,
with this. Um, I'm not sure, like, how Disney got the rights to Buffy. Because
was it
'cause I'm
with
gonna
Fox?
imagine that UPN probably I don't think UPN's even a thing anymore, and probably with their Crumble, it was it came up for grabs, and that's how potentially how it happened, because they didn't originally air on Disney. Disney had no part in it, um, but yeah, it made the same thing with, like Golden Girls, for example.
Mm,
Disney
mhm,
owns the rights to Golden Girls.
mhm,
Um, because I think they were originally a part of NBC, I believe.
mhm,
They work in collaboration with Disney. I don't know if Disney necessarily owns them, but they work together. So that, that's how they have it, but Golden Palace, they don't have the rights to that because I think that was Lifetime, so they don't own the rights to Golden Palace, which is why that's hard to find. So,
mm.
but hi, everyone. So I have a few articles that I'm coming in with for this bonus episode. So, Ma'am, I think it's Ma'am Danny. So he signed an executive order to protect New Yorkers from abusive immigration enforcement. This was back in February. So, Mayor Zoran Mamdani issued an executive order he says will protect New Yorkers from abusive immigration enforcement by the Trump administration and upholds sanctuary city laws. Mamdani signed the order, which he called a sweeping reaffirmation of commitment to our immigrant neighbors. U.S. immigration and customs enforcement operations have sparked controversy in the tri state area, where across the river from New York City, Jersey City's mayor said recently he wanted agents to get out and never come back. Yeah. Quote, ICE is more than a rogue agency. It is a manifestation of the abuse of power. Ma'am Danny told the group of faith leaders from across the 5 boroughs. Ma'am Danny also launched a Know Your Rights push, a campaign to distribute over 30,000 flyers in multiple languages detailing the rights people have during interactions with ICE, like remaining silent, requesting an attorney, and requesting an interpreter. I urge you to share these with your congregants, even those who are citizens, even those whom you think ICE may not target. Um, so Ma'am Danny's latest executive order, his 13th since taking office, says city agencies cannot share information collected for city purposes with federal immigration authorities except when they are required to by law. It gives each agency 14 days to appoint a privacy officer and take other actions to ensure compliance. No New Yorker should be afraid to apply for city services like childcare because they are an immigrant. His order states the NYPD, Department of Correction, Department of Probation, Administration for Children's Services, and Department of Social Services must audit their internal policies on interacting with federal immigration authorities and make public any changes needed to comply. It also says federal agents may not enter city property, like parking garages and lots, schools, shelters, hospitals, and public spaces, without a warrant. City agencies are also instructed to train employees on how to interact with federal immigration agents. So DHS is blasting this executive order. Of course they are. So the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement to CBS News, New York, that Ma'am Danny's policy would make New York less safe. Or New York City, I should say, less safe. Sure. When politicians bar local law enforcement from working with DHS, our law enforcement officers have to have a more visible presence so that we can find and apprehend the criminals let out of jails and back into communities. The department said, but wait a minute. Okay, you know what? We know how stupid that sounds. The department said it was urging the mayor to turn over to ICE 7,113 criminal illegal aliens who are in New York's custody and have active detainers. So, anyways, that is that article. A toddler was hospitalized with respiratory failure, was returned to ICE detention, and denied prescribed medication. This is great. So, an 18-month-old baby held with her parents at a South Texas immigration detention center became so ill that she was rushed to a hospital with life-threatening respiratory failure, then sent back to detention days later, where she was denied daily medication doctors prescribed, according to a federal lawsuit. The toddler, Amelia, remained in detention for another 9 days and was released only after lawyers filed an emergency habeas corpus petition in federal court challenging her continued confinement. She was freed after the filing. Amelia has been healthy before immigration officers arrested her family in El Paso in December and transferred them to the Dilley Immigration Processing Center, a remote prison-like facility where hundreds of immigrant children are held with their parents. Advocates and pediatric experts have warned that conditions at the center are unsafe for young children. Amelia's health quickly deteriorated, the lawsuit says. On January 18th, she was rushed to a children's hospital in San Antonio, where doctors treated her for pneumonia, COVID-19, RSV, and severe respiratory distress. She was at the brink of dying, said Alora, Mukherjee, who is a Columbia Law School professor and the director of the school's Immigrants' Rights Clinic, who filed the petition seeking the family's release. Yet, after Amelia's return to Dilley on January 28th, federal officials denied her access to the medication that doctors prescribed for her at the hospital. This is just so The lawsuit says forcing her parents to wait in long lines for hours outside daily to request the medicine, only to be turned away. After days of intensive treatment on oxygen, Amelia began to recover, but her discharge from the hospital was not the end of her ordeal. Despite warnings from medical experts that the toddler remained medically vulnerable and at high risk of reinfection, immigration officers returned Amelia and her mother to the detention center. After baby Amelia had been hospitalized for 10 days, ICE thought this baby should be returned to Dilley, where she was denied access to the medicines that the hospital doctors told her she needed. It is so outrageous. In a statement after this article was published, Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin, we've heard from this one before, denied that medication was withheld. Whatever. She said Amelia, quote, immediately received proper medical care when she fell ill from her hospitalization. Upon her return to Dilley, McLaughlin said the girl was in the medical unit and received proper treatment and prescribed medicines. Sure she did. Core Civic, the company that runs Dilley under a federal contract, deferred questions about the facility to DHS and said in a statement that the health and safety of those entrusted to our care is the company's top priority. Amelia's case comes amid heightened scrutiny of conditions at Dilley, which was thrust into the national spotlight after immigration authorities detained Liam Conjo Ramos, which I believe we did talk about him, was a 5-year-old boy taken into custody with his father, an episode that drew widespread outrage after a photograph showed the child in a blue bunny hat as he was led away by officers. Accounts from detained families, their lawyers, and court filings portray Dili as a place where hundreds of children languish while being served contaminated food, receiving little education, and struggling to obtain basic medical care. Sworn declarations from dozens of parents say prolonged confinement takes a heavy physical and psychological toll on children, including regression, weight loss, recurring illness, and nightmares, as the federal government expands the use of family detention. Like many other families held at Dili, lawyers for Amelia's parents say the family should never have been detained. Keelan Valero Marcano and Stephen Arietta Perito entered the United States in 2024 after fleeing Venezuela, where they say where they faced persecution for their political opposition to President Nicolas Maduro, according to the lawsuit. During their journey north, Valero Marcano gave birth to Amelia in Mexico. They applied for asylum through the government-run appointment system, CBP-1, and immigration authorities allow the family to live in El Paso while their case moved forward. According to the lawsuit, they checked in regularly with immigration officials and complied with all requirements, including participation in an alternative to detention monitoring program. That changed on December 11th, when the family reported together for a check-in and was taken into custody, according to the lawsuit. 2 days later, they were transferred to the Dili Immigration Processing Center, a sprawling complex an hour south of San Antonio, more than 500 miles from the community where they had been living. Once inside Dili, the parents say their daughter's health deteriorated quickly. In early January, Amelia developed a high fever that would not break. She began vomiting, had diarrhea, and struggled to breathe. As she grew weaker, her parents said they repeatedly took her to the facility's medical clinic 8 or 9 times, according to the lawsuit, seeking help. Each visit ended the same way, according to the lawsuit: basic fever medication. So, like Tylenol. By mid-January, Amelia was barely getting enough oxygen. On January 18th, the lawsuit said her blood oxygen levels plunged into the 50s. God, a life-threatening emergency, and she was taken out of the facility with her mother to a hospital. Her father remained behind at Dili, unable to communicate with his wife or see his daughter as doctors worked to save her. She spent 10 days at Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio, much of that time on oxygen, and her lungs struggled to recover. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers maintained constant supervision over Amelia and her mother throughout the hospitalization, according to the lawsuit. Mukherjee said the girl's mother spent the days praying at her daughter's bedside, terrified she would die, and was later devastated to learn, once discharged, they would be sent back to detention. When Amelia was released from the hospital on January 28th, doctors gave clear instructions. Medical records cited in the lawsuit show she had breathing treatments delivered by nebulizer and nutritional supplements to help her regain strength and weight. Instead of allowing them to return to El Paso, immigration officers drove Amelia and her mother back to Dili. Once there, detention medical staff confiscated Amelia's nebulizer. Why? Okay. Albuterol and nutritional supplements. The parents were required to wait daily for hours in what detainees have described in interviews and sworn declarations as the pill line, an outdoor queue families must stand in to obtain medicine and other necessities. Amelia shivered in her mother's arms as they waited in the cold, Mukherjee said, only to be given Pediasure. How in the is Pediasure going to help in this situation? And deny the breathing medication doctors had prescribed. As Amelia remained in detention, Mukherjee and other immigration lawyers repeatedly urged federal officials to release the family, warning that the child's condition could rapidly worsen. Medical experts who reviewed Amelia's records submitted affidavits cautioning that returning a medically fragile toddler to detention, particularly without reliable access to prescribed medication, put her at extreme danger. One physician warned that the child faced a high risk for medical decompensation and death. Mukherjee's efforts intensified after health officials confirmed 2 measles cases among people held at Dili. So imagine what could have happened if this little girl got it. When those appeals failed, Mukherjee filed an emergency challenge in federal court seeking the family's release. Hours later it says hours later, the family was freed. Mukherjee said ICE failed to turn over Amelia's prescriptions as well as her birth certificate. The parents weren't immediately available for an interview. The reprieve brought them relief, Mukherjee said, but she expects the experience will have lasting consequences. Imagine they're going to carry the trauma of this experience for the rest of their lives. Yeah, yeah, they will. And that's really sad. But yeah, that's that article. Yeah, so the
Mhm,
main point I'm trying to make, I guess, is the fact that it's for Buffy, it's just a little bit different.
mhm.
That
Yeah.
I don't know about Malcolm in the Middle and how that really, because I don't think Disney had anything to do with them either, but I think they aired on NBC. So,
Mhm.
or something around those lines.
Fox, and maybe
There you go, Fox.
yeah.
So,
Cause I
there
remember
you go.
like, Fox Night watching Malcolm
Mhm.
in the Middle
Yeah,
and
so
then
there you go.
King the Hill. Yeah, that
Them
also got a
2.
reboot too.
Hmm?
That also got a reboot as well.
What did?
King the Hill.
King of the Hill?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
saw that.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That I wasn't really watching that one either. I don't think I
Pretty
was
good,
really allowed to.
pretty good show. Yeah, it was a pretty good
No, I
show.
don't doubt it. Of course
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah,
It's so good.
yeah.
But, I I know there was some controversy around not so much King of the Hill reboot, but outside of that, because I believe one of the voice actors for King of the Hill, I don't know who he voiced, but, he was murdered, like, last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They don't know if it was potentially a hate crime because he was
Yeah,
homosexual and he
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard about
yeah.
that. Yeah,
It's really sad.
yeah. It
It's
is
real
really
sad.
sad. Yeah.
Like, his poor husband, like, they had just recently gotten married,
Mhm.
and he was just absolutely devastated.
Yeah,
It's really sad.
yeah, yeah.
People are just horrible, honestly. But
Yeah.
anyway, um, but yeah, I mean, I hope that one day we will see this and
Mhm.
it's gonna happen. Maybe we need another executive who understands Buffy and understands the love surrounding Buffy.
Well, Disney just got a new well,
Well, it's an executive producer, so
new
there's gonna be
boss.
plenty of
Oh,
those.
you mean the executive or you mean
It's
the
an
new
executive
Disney
producer.
boss? Okay,
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
you. So that's there's plenty of those, but
Yeah.
I I hope we can have a different executive producer on this that understands Buffy and understands the love
Mhm,
of Buffy.
mhm,
I mean, I'm sorry, but like one of one of the episodes from Buffy
mhm.
is still talked about today, is used in classrooms. And I think we talked about this, but the body. And I remember my brother, I was kind of I'm still in the middle of rewatching it, and my brother came to me, he's like, um, I don't know if I was kinda mentioning, "Oh, I'm watching Buffy," and he's like, "Oh, I watched The Body." And I'm like, "What do you know about The Body? What do you know
Mm,
about Buffy?" Because again, my brother's was not even a thought when this show was even a thing, and he's like he watched it for school or something like that, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And we talked about it, and the thing is that that episode is absolutely devastating, When you're a fan of the show, it's absolutely devastating episode, but it is also a really well done episode, which is why it has that notoriety that it has. So, executive producer, you EP out there who
Mhm,
doesn't understand Buffy or it's not for you or you don't, whatever, that's besides the bloody point. I don't care that you don't understand it or that it's not for you. I don't care. I don't care. That's besides the point. It's not about you. Chefs don't cook meals based off of what they like. They cook meals based off what others like and what other people want because it's that selflessness. So,
hmm,
yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
like Giles, I'm gonna take my glasses off because I don't want to see this. So,
mhm, mhm,
I think I think I'm good now. I don't think we need to talk more about this. Do you have anything else you want to say about this though before we move on? Or
mm,
anything surrounding this?
I think we're okay, we're good.
Good,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I can rant and rave about this topic for a while. Anyway, so kind of just talking about some other things here. Canada
Yep,
is implementing some new rules for citizenship for 2026.
mhm,
So they're implementing sweeping changes to its citizenship framework, affecting millions of current applicants and prospective Canadians worldwide.
mm,
So, from the historic Bill C-3, amendments that eliminated the first generation limit on citizenship to the new online citizenship test procedures announced by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, in March of 2026. The Canadian
mhm,
citizenship landscape has transformed dramatically. So, whether you are a permanent resident preparing for your citizenship test, a lost Canadian seeking to reclaim your birthright, or an American discovering you may already be a citizen, and good for you if you figure that out,
mm,
this comprehensive guide that we're going to go through covers everything that you need to know. So, it's pretty comprehensive, of course, because I have a freaking table of contents. We'll
mm,
narrow it down a little bit, don't you worry. Um, so first, the Bill C-3, which received royal assent on November 20th, 2025, and
mhm,
came into force on December 15th, 2025, fundamentally changed how citizenship can be passed down through generations. Second, IRCC published updated citizenship test instructions on March 9th, formalizing the shift to online testing as the default method for all applicants age 18 to 54. So I'm going to pass through that and I'll go into all that. So Canada eliminated the first generation limit on citizenship. So again, that Bill C-3 addresses the long-standing inequities in how citizenship is passed down through generations. This reform comes as a beacon of hope for countless families scattered across the globe, ensuring that Canadian ties remain strong regardless of where life takes them.
mm.
For years, outdated rules left many individuals, often referred to as lost Canadians, in limbo, denying them the citizenship they rightfully deserved. This is kind of a you to the States right now because they
Yeah,
got rid of it on their end.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
God. Okay. The new legislation not only rectifies these historical injustices, but also introduces a forward looking framework that emphasizes genuine connections to Canada.
mm,
Um, okay, hold on. Okay. So who benefits from Bill C-3? So for individuals born or adopted before December 15th, 2025, Bill C-3 automatically grants citizenship to those previously excluded by the first generation limit or other outdated rules. This includes descendants of lost Canadians who fell through the cracks of prior reforms, children born abroad to Canadian parents who were themselves born or adopted overseas, and adopted individuals in similar circumstances. These newly recognized citizens can now apply for proof of citizenship through IRCC's citizenship portal. Importantly, if you have already submitted an application under the interim measures introduced in March 2025, You do not need to reapply. IRCC will process it under the new rules automatically. Um, Hold on.
Yeah.
Social connections requirements. Um, so we're gonna skip through this a little bit. Um, okay, so Americans, millions of Americans can now start claiming Canadian citizenship. So one of the most significant trends emerging from Bill C-3 is the surge in Americans discovering they may already be Canadian citizens. Search interest for Americans claim Canadian citizenship descent has reached breakout levels on Google. I wonder why, reflecting heightened awareness among U.S. residents with Canadian heritage. If you have a Canadian parent, grandparent, or even great grandparent, you might already be a citizen under the new rules. Unlike the temporary visas and complex points based immigration system, citizenship grants immediate and permanent rights to live, work, and vote. And vote. Cool. So the documents required to prove Canadian citizenship. IRCC requires official certified documents connecting you to your Canadian ancestor. So you will need birth or baptismal certificates to prove parentage and exact place of birth, marriage certificates, crucial for tracking name changes, supporting evidence, so death certificates, census data, or property deeds to strengthen your claim, proof of parent citizenship, like Canadian passport, citizenship certificate, or birth certificate. So you can submit your application using Form CIT-001E through IRCC's online portal. Processing times are currently approximately 10 to 11 months as of early 2026.
Hmm.
Not surprising. So new test rules. Most applicants for Canadian citizenship will now complete a self-administered online citizenship test with up to 3 attempts permitted. This information comes from the latest instructions for officers published on the IRCC website on March 9th of this year, formalizing changes that evolved during and after the pandemic. Um, so I'm not going to go into how it works. There are alternative test formats. So while online testing is now the default because of the world we live in, IRCC acknowledges alternative formats for particular circumstances. So in-person tests and Microsoft Teams tests may be used for applicants with accommodation needs, those experiencing technical problems, individuals requiring identity verification, or at officer discretion. Both alternative formats allow only one attempt per event. Um, let's go through. It says frequently asked questions. Not gonna go into all that. So yeah, that is basically the new rules. If you need more, extensive understanding, definitely can Google um new citizenship rules for 2026.
Mhm.
And yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I have hardly anything to say about that, but
Mm.
anything to increase the population of uh Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but obviously not with creating more of a burden
Mhm.
on society, but
Yeah.
um yeah, I can definitely understand Americans wanting to find out, am I a Canadian citizen?
Mhm. Mhm.
Get me out of here. Um,
Mm.
Anyways,
Mm.
did you hear about the AI generated Val Kilmer star in new movies? And he's dead? Did you hear about this?
AI generated?
Yeah,
So wait, is it is this
like
movie
Val
based?
Kilmer is dead,
So
and they created an AI generated actor with his likeness.
so he signed on it.
He didn't sign on anything, he's dead. He's been dead.
No, no, but, like, did he sign on it before he died?
Why? Don't know about that.
Or did his family did it?
I don't know
Mm.
about that. Here's let's go into the article here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe we'll get some answers. So the company behind the movie First Line Films says it
Mhm.
is the first ever performance enabled by generative artificial intelligence. The
Mhm.
Top Gun star was originally cast in As Deep as the Grave 5 years ago, but had been unable to work on set due to illness. So here's maybe where we come in. He will play Catholic priest and Native American spiritualist Father Fenton. Kilmer previously claimed Cherokee ancestry and was vocal supportive. Okay, I don't know if that has anything to do with this. Um, they said in a press release at the time that he was cast, Kilmer expressed that the character of Fenton spoke to him both culturally and spiritually. That's great, but let me go past all of like the movie stuff. Uh, okay, so in 2021, Kilmer used the AI voice platform Sonnet Sonnetic to develop an AI-generated version of his voice, which was permanently damaged after ongoing tracheostomy for throat cancer. It used archival art audio Kilmer provided and was used in the Top Gun sequel, Top Gun Maverick, in which Kilmer reprised his famous Iceman role. Um, Interesting. Did not know that. I actually haven't seen Top Gun Maverick yet. Don't hate me.
Mhm.
Um, As Deep as the Grave uses Kilmer's voice from after his tracheotomy. The movie, which is post-production, is expected to be released later this year. So
Huh.
to me, it seems that him himself,
Mhm.
while he was still alive,
Mhm.
created an AI-generated voice for himself because of the fact that he
Um,
had the throat cancer and was undergoing medical procedures
see
and stuff like that.
see
So I wonder if from that, another company created the likeness and attached maybe the voice, something he had already created in life. So I wonder if like it's kind of a stickier situation a little bit.
right. Right.
And
See,
yeah, go
there
ahead.
there's a rapper, I think we talked about this, I don't know if I talked about this with my friend or I talked this about you. There's a rapper named, I think you know who this is, Beanie Sigels, right?
Mhm,
He has I think he has something similar with his throat and his voice. I
mhm,
think it had to do a lot with his voice. I'm not sure if it's some disease with his throat or something like that.
mhm.
I had to do my research on that. But he is, getting AI to do his albums. So his new
And
album.
see, I
So
don't
this
hate that. I don't hate that you as a person alive and well and well, maybe
Mhm,
not well in Val
mhm,
Kilmer's
mhm,
case, but
mhm. Yeah.
alive and well, and you
Mhm,
can sign off on that or you can create that on your own.
mhm.
You have full autonomy to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why I say with Val Kilmer, it's a little stickier because he created his voice
Mhm,
while he was alive, but maybe didn't create the likeness, like the actual someone to actually mimic him in AI form,
mhm,
um, in a movie
mhm,
that that he signed off on in life,
mhm.
but that obviously didn't happen because he died.
Paul was
So,
a Paul was about to do it, but
yes,
he couldn't because he probably wasn't probably
right,
strong enough or health.
right.
Yeah,
It's kind of like think of it this way. Y'all come with me on a ride.
yeah,
Think of it this way.
yeah.
I wonder, because actually I don't particularly hate this.
Mhm.
I wonder if AI was as big of a thing when, like, Black Panther 2 came out. What if they were to, like, do
Oh,
Chadwick?
yeah.
You know what
No,
I mean?
see,
How would that make us feel?
the thing is they I don't think they wouldn't have done that because like, they would have to get the
No, I don't think they would have, but I'm just
yeah.
saying, like,
Yeah.
what would the audience response have been knowing that that was not him, he
Mhm.
was gone at that point,
Uh-huh.
but here he is on my screen
I see what you're saying.
being Black Panther, you know what I mean? How
See,
would
if he signed off on it, like, before he died and everything
or
like
his
that,
estate
like you
did.
said, yeah, then
Yeah.
yes, then the fans would know, and then the fans will understand that, right?
Yeah.
Now, if Disney out of nowhere just like, we're doing an AI, out of nowhere, we don't care,
Mm,
this and that, all that stuff, then the audience will be like, this is disgusting.
exactly.
You're profiting off the man's death, etc.
Exactly.
All that stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, yeah. So like I don't think I don't know what sorry about what's his name, Val
Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Kilmer situation is. He might have signed off, but didn't
That's
like
I don't know if
sign
necessarily
actual
he would have
contracts
signed off on AI playing
himself.
him, you
Himself?
know? I don't know if he would have necessarily
I
done,
don't.
but then again, maybe he
Possible.
did because he did create his voice
Was
for Top
yes,
Gun Maverick. He
and
was
possible.
alive,
Yes.
and he did that so that maybe he can't speak,
Yes.
but he can at least still act
Mhm.
and have the words coming out in a different way.
Mhm. And
So, he could have
yeah.
been like, "Hey, listen, if AI advances, y go ahead."
Yeah.
He could have.
We
100% he could have.
Yeah, and we're now seeing a lot of these, like, actors. Well, Matt, you heard about Matthew McConaughey's article, right? Or a video based on he got his voice likeness from a company, and then he's got his I think his digital ID uh from the same company. So like, if he wants to do a movie with him not appearing, he can get paid for that.
And that is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
As long as these actors
yeah,
have the right to their AI likeness
yeah,
and are going to be paid
yeah.
for their AI likeness, I don't go ahead, do it.
Mhm, mhm,
Make your job easier. Like, if I could,
mhm,
I would. Like,
mhm.
that's okay.
Yes. I
I
feel like
have
there's
issue with people who do it to take advantage.
yeah.
That's where my issue
I
is.
feel like hopefully a lot of these actors have a contract where it says they don't put themselves into, like, danger. Like,
Yeah.
someone could put them in a movie that's based on, like, you know, like, racist and,
Well,
misogynistic movies and
that's different.
etcetera. Yeah,
But
so, like,
imagine
basic
this too.
yeah,
I wonder if, like, the stunt double world could really be affected by AI, because imagine if you
yeah.
can instead of using a real stunt double, like a
Mhm,
person,
mhm.
you could use AI instead. Or if you're Tom Cruise, you'll still do your own stunts, but whatever. So, you
I don't
know, or if Jackie
maybe.
Chan was still acting, he does his own stunts too, so whatever.
Yeah,
But
well
otherwise,
well, we'll never know what those they haven't commented on how they feel about the AI, but, like, probably they'll probably comment
no,
soon.
Tom Cruise would never use AI.
I don't know
He's
about
too
that.
full of
I f
himself.
I feel like he'll be okay. Ben Affleck is pretty okay with it, actually.
But Ben Affleck, I personally think, is not as full of himself as
Yes.
Tom Cruise
Yeah,
is.
yeah, he
Tom Cruise
understands.
is full of
Yeah.
himself. I don't think he could ever let AI.
Mm.
He's a narcissist. He
He
could
he
never let AI be better than
I don't
him.
know. I don't know. I don't know.
I
He
don't
seems like a guy that will probably look into it, but,
Tom
probably,
Cruise?
yeah,
You think that Tom Cruise is gonna live with the fact that AI could do it better than him? Not that guy. Mm-mm,
I wouldn't say
not him.
I don't think would say AI do better than him, but I think he'd be cool with it.
But I
Like,
think he would always think, "Oh, the AI could probably do this better than me. I can't have that." No way, I don't think Tom Cruise would
mm,
ever be okay with AI doing
mm,
his job. The man is on
we
what,
shall
his
see.
100th Mission Impossible? No, come on. He's never
We shall see.
going to let AI do his work for him. The only time he will let AI do his work for him is when
Mhm.
he's too old and decrepit to do it himself.
I'm positive.
And him and his estate, when that time comes,
I'm
when
probably
he's beamed up on this rocket ship,
mm,
you know,
mm.
he'll still make money.
Yeah.
That is when Tom Cruise will use AI.
Mm.
Not
Did you
until
see the
then.
did you see the Tom Cruise versus Brad Pitt video that was surfing around?
Brad Pitt wins. Brad Pitt always wins.
No, I don't know, but, like, did you see the
No,
AI
no. Who
that
won?
was
Brad Pitt?
out? I it was like Yeah, it was
Of
like
course it's
Brad
Brad
Pitt.
Pitt.
I think
Listen,
it was yeah,
I don't even like Brad Pitt. I'm one of those people who I don't care for Brad Pitt.
yeah,
I don't understand people out here being like, "Oh my god, Brad Pitt is so hot." What are you talking about? Brad Pitt looks like every other white boy with blonde hair.
mhm,
I do I don't understand. I
mhm,
think he's an okay actor. I don't think he's phenomenal, but he's fine. He's fine. Brad Pitt still wins when it comes to Tom Cruise.
mhm.
Anyone would win in my book against Tom Cruise. Can you tell I hate Tom Cruise? I hate Tom Cruise.
I don't
So,
hate he's a good actor, but he's
no,
one
I
thing.
don't like him as a person, and I can't because I don't like because I truly cannot stand him as a person. It's really like, I really have to hate you for me to be like, "I can't even stand looking at your face, even though you're acting." Like, I can't. Because he's like he abandoned his children because they don't believe in Scientology or some like, he's a horrible person, I'm sorry.
Mhm,
It's hard for me. I wish I could sit there and enjoy Cocktail or Jerry Maguire or what's that other one?
mhm.
The one there with the what's it called? I literally had it on top of my tongue and I got lost it.
What do you which one? What are you talking
It's like
about?
one of his, like, really popular The Firm. I think that's what it is, The Firm. Amazing movie.
Oh,
He is a great actor, especially back in the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
But, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Mhm,
I can't stand him.
mm, okay.
Sometimes it gets hard for me to even watch, like,
Mhm,
um, uh, why is his name not coming to me right now?
mhm.
Uh, oh, no. That's horrible. This is horrible. Um, the guy who Danny Zuko. What's his real name?
Any
Oh god.
super?
Danny Zuko from Greece. What is his real name?
Oh, John Turturro?
Don't watch it. Oh my god, that was horrible. Um, yeah, John Travolta. Sometimes it's even hard for me to watch him sometimes because I'm like, "I know you're a little crazy. I know you're a little crazy."
Mhm,
It's okay, I can handle a little crazy. I just
mhm.
can't handle narcissism, and that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it is what it is,
It
you
is
know,
what it
sad
is. You know,
yeah,
freedom of religion, right?
yeah,
Anyways, continue.
but, but yeah, like
Um,
yeah, it's a mixed bag with a lot of these actors I don't agree with, like, the,
their
uh,
views.
yeah, with AI and all that stuff, right? So, like,
Ta talk about views because, um, I'm about to go on to another topic really quickly here.
yeah, yeah.
Um, did you hear what Usher had to say about Diddy? Did you hear what he said
I
about
think
him?
I heard something, I
I
didn't
don't like
hear
I don't know if I can support Usher now either, like, everyone, I'm like, "Oh" you know what? It's you know what Usher coulda done? Shut the up, don't say nothing. You don't have to say a damn thing. You can be like, "I don't know her." That's all you had to do.
mm,
No, but instead, you're gonna be out here basically being like, "Diddy's a good guy."
mm,
You're
um,
garbage.
um, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah,
were you doing? What were you doing at those white parties? You know what I
Usher
mean?
Usher was very close with Diddy, I guess. Same with, like,
Yes. He's
there's some
Usher
rumors
is
with
Diddy's protege.
and then Bieber as well. I'm like,
Well,
B
Bieber's technically supposed to
Bieber's
be Usher's
just
protege, but
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all, but yeah, Bieber's kind of distance with like kind of Diddy. He's the one I think
Good.
Diddy.
That is what
I
you
heard.
do.
That's how I heard about it. That's how I heard. But
Here's the difference, I guess, is Bieber's Canadian. He's like, "Nope, I'm not getting involved in any of this."
mhm,
But I also worry of, like, what did Bieber potentially get exposed to? You know what I mean? And I worry about that too
mhm,
with Usher. Usher was 15 when he broke out at first,
mhm,
at a time when Diddy was very thick cut into his
mhm.
what did Usher experience? What did he witness? I don't know,
I don't know.
but for you to come out here and be like, "Diddy's he's fine, he's cool, he's a good dude." I know maybe you owe your career to Diddy.
Mhm.
I get that. I respect that. But but do me a favor. Shut up. Don't
Mm,
say nothing. Silence is free.
mm. Did
Keeping your
you
mouth shut is free.
did you hear about, like, Usher and Chris Brown doing a tour together? Did you see that?
No, but,
Yeah, that's happening.
that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. They're really trying to prep up, Chris Brown to go into the Super Bowl, thing. Chris Brown's dropping an album as well too, so that he r
Um, am I a bad person if I would watch that?
yeah,
Am I
that's
bad?
they're everybody's campaigning for Chris Brown to get to the Super Bowl, so that's probably they're
That'd be a
probably
sick ass Super Bowl performance though. I'm sorry, it would be sick as hell, it'd be
yeah,
so good.
yeah.
But am I a bad person? I don't know.
I don't
The
know.
problem with Chris Brown is, like, he has been through so much shit when it
Yeah,
comes to
yeah.
domestically, I mean,
Mhm,
and yet his career is still going, he's never been canceled. I mean, when all of this started anyways, cancel culture was not a thing, but
mhm,
he's never been canceled. He's been praised, if anything, since
mhm,
then,
mhm.
and, you know, you see fans wanting to end their marriages so they can have a kiss with Chris Brown. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
once upon a time,
what's
I would have
what's
agreed.
the yeah, he does that thing,
Yeah,
uh
he's like one of his songs, he, like, kisses a fan or something like that, and, like, he was full blown, there was tongue. I'm sorry, there was tongue involved, okay,
mhm,
and that woman's husband was right there, okay, he was right there, and he basically was being a cuckold to Chris Brown in that moment, like, whatever, I guess. Once upon a time, I would have probably cheated on my boyfriend with Chris
mhm,
Brown too if I had the opportunity,
mhm.
but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
I'm good.
so, yeah, Chris Brown does this, like, meet and greet the experiences with, like, a lot of these women. So,
Yeah,
like, you've seen it before, right? Like,
yeah.
he charges higher price for her, so, like, often he just, like, basically charges between, like, as I'm hearing, 1,000 to 2,500.
I mean, his lips ain't free, y'all.
Yeah, so
Whatever.
yeah,
He
so
has a whole song called "Kiss Kiss." I mean,
mhm,
there you go. His lips ain't free. I got that,
yeah,
and I respect the hustle,
yeah, well, he has
but
impacted a lot of relationships by doing that, so, like, basically
listen,
yeah,
listen.
yeah,
If
so
I went to my boyfriend and said, "I wanna spend $1,000 so I can kiss Chris Brown," he would leave me in a heartbeat. Are you kidding?
mhm,
No, you can't kiss Chris Brown. No. And then the thing, I had a major crush on Chris Brown, like, major, okay?
mhm,
I was gonna marry that man one day, and then he beat up Rihanna, and it all fell apart, okay?
mhm,
And yeah, 'cause, like, me and him are here's the thing, me and him really, truly never would've worked anyways, okay? Not that it was an option, but it never truly would've worked anyways. We were both Tauruses, our birthdays are a week apart. See, that's how much of a fan I was of Chris Brown. I know his birthday. So,
mhm,
we are a week apart. We are both Tauruses, we're stubborn. We we're stubborn, okay? We are
mhm,
hot-headed people,
mhm,
okay? It ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna mess up my relationship for Chris Brown. Jokes
mhm.
aside, I'm not gonna do that because it's like, hello, this man this man, not just Rihanna, he has been a disturber with women that he's dated after her. So, what are we doing?
Hmm,
What are we doing? I am not doing that. I just no. Plus, I don't know where your lips have been. Kissing you. Not in today's economy, is this? We had COVID, y'all. I don't know where he's been.
hmm,
So, no thank you. No thank you. Anyway, but we talk about this for a reason.
mhm,
Like Diddy, who is friends with this person. Maybe he's distanced himself a little bit, though, that would be smart.
Mhm.
But just like Diddy, who changed his name from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy, then to Diddy, Jay-Z has changed his name. Have you heard about this?
I haven't heard anything about that. Oh,
Okay, here you go. You wanna know about it? Okay. Jay-Z has changed his name to Jay-Z, spelled Jay with the 2 little dots on the top, Z. What the is going on?
two little dots. Is
Yeah,
that a
his
room? Is that a
spelling is
room?
literally Jay with the little dots on the top. I don't know exactly what that is Z. Jay-Z. I don't know if you pronounce it like J Z. I don't know, but that is his name.
There
Jay-Z.
hasn't been any reports on that. To be fair, I don't, where do you
It's an omlaut over the Y. That's what it's called. It's an omlaut. I'm curious how you pronounce it
see?
with the omlaut, but I do not know.
Let me see. Hold on. Changing.
Apparently, his name has been changed on all streaming platforms, including Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, and YouTube,
Eh,
to feature the omlaut.
that's fine. I mean, like, is it a logo thing or is it just like him? Is it a culture thing? Like, is it
I
like
don't know. So
is it changing his?
here's what it says. The name change brings back the punctuation mark first seen on the Hard Knock Life rapper's 1996 debut album, Reasonable Doubt, which marks its 30th anniversary this year. But again, that's an exclamation mark, not a lot. But anyways, um, the pronunciation of the name will remain the same. So it's going to remain the same,
Okay.
as the omelet is merely a stylistic change.
Okay, I see. It's like a kind of like a logo change. It's still its name's still Jay-Z. It's not like when Kanye changes his name to Ye. You know, like
Yeah, that's not
w-
villainous.
yeah. So
That's a
like
little different.
yeah, that's different. I think this is like a logo change. Like 50 did his he did a logo change as well. Like he had a
It's not just a logo change, it's supposed to be a name change.
uh, I
It
don't think
literally said name change.
he's
It's supposed to
dropping a
be considered
he's
a name change.
there's rumors that he's dropping an album this year. So I'm thinking
That's
if it's like
nice. I don't care.
he it might be I don't think it's I think it's a probably a logo change to different, you
But
know.
you're
You might
saying it's
see
a
that
logo change, but they refer to it as a name change. So you
uh,
can think it's a logo change, but they refer to it as a name
let me see.
change.
Hold on. Sinatra his updated his stage name to Jay-Z. Did the and it has nothing to do with any interesting. Uh and he's doing two concerts in New York as well, I believe.
Okay.
30 at 30th anniversary of his Reasonable Doubt album, and it's another album that he's doing. No, well, that Reasonable Doubt. Um, hmm. Well, I I there's nothing that I have no opinions on this. I just feel like it's just like he's just like he's just changing it because I think he might be dropping something in the future. So.
Why do they need to change their names to drop the goddamn album? You don't need to change your name to do that, though.
I mean, to he like the name Jay Z, like
It's Jay-Z,
maybe
that is his name, it has been his name for 30
I know, but
years. He is
like I
known
said,
as Jay-Z,
I know, but
and it's
like
still pronounced Jay-Z, so what's the difference? All he did was add some dots to the name. I'm sorry, umlaut to the name. It's still pronounced Jay-Z.
well, yeah, I have no comment on that other
It's
than
it's a weird marketing thing, if that is because of his albums. It's a little weird. Sir, you're Jay-Z. You don't need to do much. You just have to be like, "Boop," and people are swarming to it. You don't have to
Mhm.
do anything.
uh,
Married to Beyoncé, sir. It's fine. Anyways, whatever. It was just
I have
it's
no.
very weird, personally.
It might be some type of little. It might be. You might see that type of thing on his
Hey,
album cover.
yeah, duh, it's his
Yeah,
new name, so yes.
yeah,
But listen, Diddy said that he was doing it for marketing purposes as well.
yeah.
We
Well,
now know that ain't
he
fully the truth.
he was gonna change his name to Love.
Who
That's
did?
different.
Who?
Diddy.
You and your love. Um,
That's extremely
but he
different
never did that though. He went from Buff Daddy to P. Diddy to
to
Diddy.
Love.
Oh yeah, he did do that, didn't he? Hi everyone, me coming back in with some more articles here. So, attorneys for the Trump administration are aiming to deport Liam Conjo Ramos, the 5-year-old boy who's photographed in a bunny hat in snowy Minneapolis, circulated globally after his detention, which would have been in January, by federal officials during the aggressive anti-immigration crackdown there. The child, Liam, returned home to Minnesota earlier this week, or that week, this would have been back in February, after being taken into custody alongside his father last month and transferred to a notorious family detention facility in Texas. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, said it is seeking a deportation order for the Ecuadorian boy, but the department has denied that it is seeking to expedite his and his father's removal from the U.S. after a lawyer for the family characterized the government's actions as such to the New York Times. The lawyer Danielle Mulliver described the move to the newspaper as extraordinary and possibly retaliatory. Liam and his father, Adrian Conjo Arias, who both entered the U.S. legally as asylum applicants, were ordered released from detention on January 31st. The government is seeking to end the family's asylum claims, NPR News reported. Democratic members of the Congress, Ilan Omar of Minnesota and Hakeem Castro of Texas, have been advocating on the family's behalf. The DHS issued a statement via Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, which was also sent to The Guardian in response to a request for comment. These are regular removal proceedings. They are not an expedited removal. This is standard procedure, and there's nothing retaliatory about enforcing the nation's immigration laws, she said. Castro, who escorted Liam and his father back to Minnesota last weekend, wrote on X that Trump administration was trying to take the child again. Liam Ramos, who's 5, spent 10 days in a Texas trailer prison. He got sick, missed his mother in school, and was afraid of the guards. Millions prayed, spoke up, and offered to do whatever they could to see him go home. But now the Trump administration is trying to take him again. Castro continued, they're breaking legal precedent in an attempt to break this boy's spirit and all of the Americans who are praying for him. Lawyers for the Ramos family declined to discuss details of the case and said in an email to The Guardian, quote, we will make our case before the immigration court, challenging any erroneous decisions and ensure that the U.S. immigration law works for our clients. Liam's detention has become the latest prime example of the Trump administration's escalation of detaining minors. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, booked about 3,800 minors into immigrant family detention from January to October 2025, including children as young as 1 and 2 years old, according to a Guardian analysis of records obtained by the Deportation Data Project. More than 2,600 of those minors were apprehended by ICE officers, which usually means they were apprehended somewhere inside the country rather than at the border. So that is that one. So this is an update to a topic that we talked about back last month. This is about The Mummy. So Brendan Fraser and Rachel Reeves officially set for Uni's next Mummy movie from radio silence. Pick hits theaters early summer of 2028. So here's what we got. Oscar winners Brendan Fraser and Rachel Reeves are coming back to Universal's The Mummy franchise with the next movie installment set for May 19th, 2028, Universal said. Uni had the date on hold for an event film. There are no other wide entries booked on that date. Deadline, uh, well, I think we talked about this already. We don't have to go into all that, but that's basically the gist of that, to kind of update on that, because I said I didn't know, but turns out that I had a thing here all along to talk about it. Okay. Next article. So an employee agreement that came into force in 2025 saw pay increase to $20 an hour, bringing the average pay across the US and Canada to $31. The agreement also included further pay raises of $1 an hour promised in March 2026 and March 2027. This means the minimum wage across Costco stores will be $21 an hour from next month. This month, I should say, or no, technically we're in April, so March. The agreement has also meant that first-year employees now have access to paid vacation, and 30-year employees can now take up to 6 weeks off. The change comes as minimum wage goes up to $20 in Tennessee from $7.25. That's a huge leap. Congratulations, Tennessee. Elsewhere, Walmart has increased the pay for 3,000 new pharmacy leaders from an average of $28 an hour to $42. For pharmacy technicians, pay will go from $22 to $40.50. Other major retailers that pay around the same salary are Target, Lowe's, and Trader Joe's. Target pay generally starts around $21 an hour, depending on the location. Lowe's pays between $19 and $27. The average Trader Joe's staffer earns $19.95, but it can be as high as $30.10. Amazon's national average pay is $20, and for IKEA is $23. So that is that. Okay, so this new federal alcohol tax hike is set to take effect on April 1st. So it has already taken effect by the time you're listening to this. With a 2% federal excise increase on beer, wine, and spirits looming, critics are calling on Ottawa to reverse course amid affordability concerns. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is calling on Prime Minister Mark Carney to immediately cancel a tax hike that is set to take effect on April 1st. Quote, Canadians are struggling with the cost of everything, and Carney shouldn't make taxpayers pay more for a cold one, said Franco Terrazzano, who is the CTF federal director. Instead of making life even harder for brewers, distillers, pubs, and restaurants, the federal government should cut taxes to make Canadian businesses more competitive. The federal government announced it is increasing federal alcohol taxes again by 2% on April 1st. This alcohol tax hike will cost taxpayers about $41 million in 2026 to 2027, according to industry estimates. First passed in the 2017 federal budget, the alcohol escalator tax automatically increases excise taxes on beer, wine, and spirits every year without a vote in Parliament. Since being imposed, the alcohol escalator tax has cost taxpayers about $1.6 billion, according to industry estimates. We are increasingly concerned that another automatic beer tax increase, layered on top of tariffs, rising input costs, and stagnant sales, could push some brewers to reduce production and cut jobs. This reads a letter from unionized Canadian brewery workers to the federal government. At a time when Canadians are struggling with affordability and workers' futures are uncertain, it is difficult to understand how another tax hike on a proudly Canadian manufacturing industry could be justified. Taxes from multiple levels of government account for about half of the price of alcohol. automatic tax hikes are democratic, undemocratic, uncompetitive, and unaffordable, and they need to stop. If politicians think Canadians aren't paying enough tax, they should at least have the spine to vote on the tax increase. So that is that article. So this is an update on Kilmore Abigail Garcia that we've been talking about since last year. So here's a quick update on him. So Immigration and Customs Enforcement cannot re-detain Kilmore Abigail Garcia because a 90-day detention period has expired and the government has no viable plan for deporting him, a federal judge ruled. This is back in February. The Salvadorian national's case has become a focal point in the immigration debate after he was mistakenly deported to his home country last year. Since his return, he has been fighting a second deportation to a series of African countries proposed by Department of Homeland Security officials. The government made one empty threat after another to remove him to countries in Africa with no real chance of success. U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnes in Maryland wrote in her Tuesday order. From this, the court easily concludes that there is no good reason to believe removal is likely in the reasonably unforeseeable future. Abigail Garcia has an American wife and child and has lived in Maryland for years, but he immigrated to the U.S. illegally as a teenager. In 2019, an immigration judge ruled that he could not be deported to El Salvador because he faced danger there from a gang that had threatened his family. By mistake, he was deported there anyway last year. Facing public pressure and a court order, President Donald Trump's administration brought him back in June, but only after securing an indictment charging him with human smuggling in Tennessee. He has pleaded not guilty. Meanwhile, Trump officials have said he cannot stay in the U.S. In court filings, officials have said they intend to deport him to Uganda, I think it's Eswatini, Ghana, and Liberia. Those are the options for him, even though he's not from any of those areas. But hey, whatever. What do I know? So that was that topic. So this next article, again on the deportation side of things. A Pennsylvania man who spent 43 years in prison before his murder conviction was overturned, only to be taken straight into immigration custody, was denied bail while he fights deportation. And again, this was back in February. Subramaniam Vedam, who was 64, will remain in custody while he appeals a 1999 deportation order. The Board of Immigration Appeals agreed this month to hear his appeal based on what it called exceptional circumstances. The Trump administration had initially pursued quick deportation and moved Vedam to a detention center in Louisiana last fall before two separate courts intervened. Vedam's lawyers argued that he would have likely been spared deportation and become a citizen if not for the murder case, given immigration laws in place at the time. Vedam would have left prison on a drug charge in 1992, lawyer Ava Bennett said. It was delivery of LSD on a very small scale. This is not importing tons of cocaine. He is not a danger to the community. We are only talking about offenses that occurred over 40 years ago. In August, a Pennsylvania judge threw out Vedam's murder conviction in the 1980 death of a college friend based on ballistics evidence that prosecutors hadn't disclosed during his two trials. Supporters listening remotely to the bail hearing included a Center county prosecutor and the mayor of State College, where Vedam's late father was a renowned professor at Penn State University. Immigration Judge Tamar Wilson, sitting in Elizabeth, New Jersey, said she believes detention to be mandatory given the felony drug conviction. Alternatively, she agreed with Department of Homeland Security officials who said he remains a safety risk. The fact that he's been a model prisoner does not suggest that out in general public he's going to be safe. It's not clear whether Wilson or another judge will hear the merits of the deportation case. No hearings have yet been scheduled. Subu is nothing if not resilient, and we're resolved to emulate the example he sets for us by focusing on the next step in his fight for freedom. We continue to believe his immigration case is strong and look forward to the day we can be together again, said his sister, Sarah, I think it's Sarah Swathi, Venom, calling him by a family nickname. She planned to bring him home when he was released from state prison on October 3rd, only to see him taken into federal immigration custody. Venom had come to the U.S. legally from India when he was 9 months old, when his parents returned to state college. He was someone who's suffered a profound injustice, Benich told the Associated Press last year. Those 43 years aren't a blank slate. He lived a remarkable experience in prison. Venom is being held at an 1,800-bed U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in central Pennsylvania. Criminal illegal aliens are not welcome in the U.S., a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said of the case last year. So that is that article. And I'm going to stop it there, and we will see if I'll be coming in with some more articles later on.
Yeah, he did a lot. I don't know if he trademarked it or he changed the name, but like he was going to do that. It
I
was
thought
a
actually he did.
yeah.
I thought
He,
I did.
yeah. He said something like that he wanted to change it because of the situation that surrounds his name, P. Diddy. So
What a
so
dumbass.
yeah, so
I
and
mean,
then
sir, you can
yeah,
change your name. You can do
yeah,
that, just like listen, just like Hannah Montana says, you
yeah,
can change your name, you can
yeah,
change your clothes, just
yeah.
change your whatever, your style is just the way it goes.
Mhm.
You can do
Mhm.
all that, but it's still not gonna change the
Mhm.
fact that you are a deplorable human being, and it
Yeah.
doesn't change
Uh,
what you did.
well,
So,
we talked about, like, Kanye. Kanye, the
that's
reason
mental
why he
illness.
changed. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. The reason why I understand, like, the situation of Kanye that, he's been through a lot ish, et
Oh,
cetera,
yeah,
all that
he's been
stuff.
through a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. Uh, the the reason why he changed his name because his mother only calls him Kanye, and he just wants to be referred as Ye. So his mother obviously died, right?
Yeah,
So
but
he wants to be referred as Ye to the people instead of just
but
Kanye, which is reasonable. So
is it sir, wait a minute. No, wait a whole ass minute. Kanye Kanye has been Kanye for
I know,
many, many, many years past his mother's death.
I know, but like
All of a sudden now you wanna be referred
he
to as
probably thought
Ye.
he probably thought about it. This happened like
No, that's
three
mental
years
illness.
3 years ago.
No, this is this
3,
is this is mental illness. It's not. Yeah, yes, that might be one reason, but for
mhm,
you to go around and be like, "My mama called me Kanye." No, really? That's your name.
uh,
So, I think everyone called
yeah,
you
so
Kanye because that's your name,
I know, but he
but
has a right. He has a right to change it. If he feels that way, he feels that way. That's who he
it's
is.
mental illness. It's a little bit more than he feels that way. It's mental illness, and that's something he has not addressed,
Mhm. Mm,
and
yeah.
I really truly believe he needs to address that. And if he still, once he addresses that, still wants to be referred to as
And
EA, cool.
I think
But it
I think he addressed it numerous of times, has he? That he's
I don't think so.
bipolar and
I don't
etcetera?
I don't
He did an album based on that. He did an album,
When did he
he
do
wrote,
that album?
uh, oh, there's an album called let me see, hold on. I know my friend what is there was an album. Oh, okay, so basically, I hate being bipolar. It's awesome. But the album's called Yay. So
So that's
basically
more
what he
recent?
does, uh, that was 2018. He dropped that in 2018. So, but the cover said, "I hate being bipolar." It's awesome, right? But the
I
album's called Yay.
Here's my thing. I must say I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Anything that was going on with Kanye during his marriage with Kim and post his marriage with Kim is when his mental illness took a downward spiral. So, that may all be true that he could be bipolar. I'm not saying he isn't, because that makes sense. But
Mhm,
this man has been suffering with his mental illness even before he was with Kim
mhm,
Kardashian.
mhm,
I think his mental illness really stemmed from his car accident many, many years ago.
mhm,
But I do feel like his relationship with Kim Kardashian and everything that came with that and after that has really exacerbated his mental illness. I surely believe that. Listen, there's a reason why the joke of this is, yo, black men need to stay the away from the Kardashians. They come out worse than they were when they went in. Tell me I'm wrong. Name me one black man who's been a part of that family who came out unscathed. Maybe Tyga? Is that him, right? He was with Kylie? Maybe him. But he really didn't go in unscathed in the first place. So whatever. But I definitely don't know, man. I feel like his mental illness really got exacerbated with that marriage. And maybe having children could have exacerbated that too for him. I don't know, but because I'm not versed in bipolar. S So, yeah, I don't know. I just really want him to get the help that he needs, you know? I
mhm.
really want that for him, and I don't
Alright,
he's got the money to do it. He's freaking Kanye West, you know? Sorry, yay. Whatever. I'm
yeah,
sorry, I can't even.
yeah, well, that's nice, so 2018, so, hey, he
No,
is
he
right to
was
feel it.
still with her back then, or with her, or the marriage was ending at that point, I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause with
that's
the
where
demise of their
that
relationship, he
was
took that really hard,
yeah,
you know?
that was towards the end. I think it
Yeah,
was that was towards the end.
and
But
he took
yeah,
that really,
uh,
really, really hard, like,
yeah, yep,
she was done and he wasn't.
mhm,
It was
mhm,
I think I imagine, like, again, going through a divorce is really tough. Going through a divorce publicly and there's children involved, I imagine, like, that really can affect someone's health, mental health, and then when you
mhm,
already have
mhm,
something going on mentally, like, yeah, I I'm not surprised that Kanye is the way he is. I just want him to get some help. That is all. That's all I ask. That's all
uh,
most anybody asks for.
mhm,
Just on that. That's it.
mhm. Well, it is yeah, well, the way how Jay-Z did his name is probably a creative decision, it was more for, like, more just add a little touch here and there
I still
'cause,
think it's stupid.
eh,
You're not gonna change my mind on that. I still think it's stupid.
well, like I said, I might see it on the album cover, so they
And
just,
it's
like, I might
why is it
I just
why is it always black people out here changing names? Why can't we just leave well enough alone?
I
You
mean,
see white people doing that?
I don't really think like I said, I don't think it's, really name big name change. It's
But it is
just creative
considered a name
change.
change.
I
But
don't know
it
why
is
that
considered
article
a name change.
I don't know why that article said a name change because that's like a creative change in my opinion. Because
It's
like
still a name change.
it's still
You're
I
mincing words
mean
at this
I
point.
mean I mean it's still a Jay-Z, right?
Yes,
You're
but
still
it's
calling
probably a
it's not
Jay-Z because the
it's
man doesn't
not
know how to pronounce it with the
mm,
umlaut.
no. It's not like he's saying Ja Z, like it's not like he's saying that
Yeah, but
like,
again, like I've said,
making
he
more room.
probably is doing that because he does not know how to pronounce it with the umlaut.
It's not.
The umlaut is more like Swedish or like whatever.
Yeah. It's
He probably just doesn't know how to do it. He's like, "Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. Still
yeah.
call me Jay-Z, but spell it this way." That's still
I think
whether
it's just
it's
a quick.
creative or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still considered a name change because the spelling is different. Technically, that's different spelling.
If he says Jay-Z, then it's technically not a name
It
change.
is a name change.
It's not. If he
It is a
calls
name
himself
change.
if he calls himself Jay-Z, it's not a name change.
It's still a
It's
name change.
it's a creative
It doesn't no,
it's a way how you do
listen.
if so
The
hold on. Wait,
spelling
no.
is different. Technically, the spelling of the name is different because you're now adding an umlaut to the Y. That is considered a spelling
But
change.
you're still calling him Jay-Z.
Does not matter. The spelling of the name has changed,
So
which
so
in definition means that is a name change.
if not to the hyphen on his name with the S, that's a name change?
What do you sorry, say that again?
Nas the hip hop artist,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
If he did a name change and it
yeah.
did a hyphen on the S on his name, that's a name change to you?
That would be considered a name change.
I don't think so.
It's still considered a name change.
I disagree.
I understand what you're saying,
Name change is
but
what
you need to
Kanye.
also understand what I'm saying. I'm not debating what you're saying.
Mhm,
What I am trying to help you understand here is it is
mhm.
still considered a name change, even if the pronunciation of the name remains the same. It is still considered a name change,
I dig
factually.
I dig it more creative than
But you're mincing.
change.
That's still mincing. Wanting to change the spelling of a name is still considered a creative change. It is a creative change, yes, but it is a name change as well. It doesn't have to be either or.
Mm,
It can be yes and.
mm,
So we're essentially saying the same thing, but you are wanting it to be either or. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be yes and.
mm, uh,
And
yeah.
I think that's what this society struggles with. It doesn't always have to be either or. It can be yes and. This is a yes and situation.
I don't know. I don't know. I just say we're pronouncing the name the same way. It's
But
just
that
if
doesn't
it's
change the fact that the name's been spelled differently.
yeah, if he's changing
Th
his name
there's
to
think of
Jay
it
Z to
this way
Jane.
think of it this way, there's plenty of different ways that you can spell other names, right? People can,
Yeah, yeah.
change the name on Barbara
That
or whatever, right? But it's a different spelling. Yes, you're pronouncing the name the same, but it's
mhm,
different spelling.
mhm,
If a person decides legally, I wanna change well, clearly, legally, that's well, to some extent, legally, yes, he's legally having to probably change it for reasons, because this is a stage name, so probably and it's
so
trademarked and all that, so
yeah,
legally,
it's
he
probably
will
gonna
have
be
to go through
marketed. Yeah,
that,
it's probably gonna be marketed
right?
on his
But
postage.
what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is if you're going to go and change your name spelling of your name to a different spelling,
Mhm,
that is still considered a name change because you have to go through the name change process to change your name to that spelling. So that's what I'm trying to get at is,
mhm,
yes,
mhm.
that's not his legal name, but he is gonna have to go through legal channels to change this quote unquote spelling of
Trade,
his name,
yeah,
which
trademarking it.
is considered a name change.
Uh,
So we don't have to argue on whether this is a creative choice or whatever. Yes, it
mhm,
is. It
mhm,
is a creative choice,
mhm.
but that doesn't change the fact that it's a name change.
Okay. All
It's
right.
both.
Okay. Okay.
But at the end of the day, this
Yeah.
conversation did not have to take as long as it did for a name change on Jay-Z. This was too long, it was supposed to be quick.
Yeah, I know, but, like, we were just explaining, like, which, like, hip hop, like, artists is, like, changed their names, etcetera, all that stuff, like, over the years. And, we went from, like, Diddy to Kanye to,
I don't know anyone else who's
yeah,
done it, but
uh,
besides these 3.
it's probably a lot more. We're just not talking about them right now.
I don't know,
Or,
I don't know anyone else who's
uh,
changed their name for
Most Def.
reasons.
Most Def changed his name.
Who?
Most Def, you know who Most Def is?
Sounds familiar? I probably do know him, but I just don't know. I don't know.
To Yazin Bey. That's more Muslim, which is pretty fair.
But is he changing that because it more aligns with his Muslim faith?
Possibly.
That's
Yeah.
different. That I get. That's a
Mhm.
little different because that is technically what will happen
Mhm.
if you're not a part of the Islamic faith and you convert.
Mhm.
That's not crazy. What's crazy is people changing their name because they want to get away from the heat that they've created,
Mhm.
or because my mama called me Kanye, or just because. It's a little different. I
Mhm.
understand completely him changing his
Uh-huh.
name.
So, 2 Chainz, uh,
Oh
used to
God.
used to be called Titty Boy.
Okay. Was
Yeah.
that before his career took off? If you want to call it that.
Yeah, his name was
That's
more.
again a little different.
Yeah,
Someone
his
came to him
name.
and said, "You can't do that. You
Yeah, because it's
you
not
can't."
marketable. It's not marketable.
No.
Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, he
That
at the time,
was
but he
so
came he
dumb.
he came back to his senses and
Yeah,
went
he
back to.
did Snoop Lion though. See, even Snoop Dogg, I can understand why he did it to an
Mhm,
extent. I
mhm,
still think it was stupid, but I can understand why he did it to an extent because he was changing what type of music he was gonna do.
mhm,
He decided to change the Snoop Lion because he was gonna start
mhm,
doing reggae,
mhm,
which can you imagine? That was so weird. But yeah, that's why he did that. So
mhm.
that I can actually appreciate and understand a
Yeah.
lot more than,
Mhm,
like, Kanye being like, "'Cause my mama called me Kanye, so I don't want y'all calling me Kanye." That's weird. That's a choice, but it's a weird choice.
mhm,
Or, like I said, Diddy changing his name because he wants to evade all of the that he's created.
mhm,
That's one thing.
mhm.
That's different, you know?
I think Snoop Lion was basically a concept of a
Well, of
he was
course.
trying to do another
He's trying
album,
to do a
which
reggae
is a different
album.
situation. Yeah, it was a different situation.
Yeah, no, and that's why I'm
Uh,
saying, like, I
um,
get that. I understand
uh,
that
yeah.
because his and again, he did, like, his research into, like, I'm Snoop Dogg, so what animal could I use instead of dog
Mhm,
that will relate more to reggae
mhm,
music?
mhm,
A lion, because, again, that world of Rastafarian, I think back to, a poster that actually my mom has of Bob Marley, and there was a lion in the picture. So that I'm like, "Okay, I get you. That makes sense for what he was doing." That was good marketing, even if it was
mhm,
weird. It was good marketing. But all these other ones, or even the Islamic guy, that was fine too. But all these other ones, it's dumb, it's stupid, I'm sorry.
mm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it basically. I don't think Lamar counts. I think that's his, like,
Did he
nickname.
change his name?
He was K Dot at first, but
Oh, that's
that's
weird.
basically
No, let's
his
just stick with your name,
it's
dude.
it's just his nickname. But then
Yeah,
he
no, I get
became
that, I get
Kendrick.
that.
Then he became Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah,
right?
no, I
But
think
but they people
he
still
has
use
such a
K Dot.
great name, like,
Yeah.
why change that? Like,
Well,
his
that
name
was
is already so marketable, like, why
yeah.
change that?
Well, that was his early years when he
Yeah, no,
before he
I
became
know, I
Kendrick
get
Lamar.
it, I
Yeah.
get it, but
Yeah.
because he's going mainstream, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Hey,
Kendrick.
Dot, really?
Yeah.
Your name's Kendrick Lamar, that is an awesome name."
Yeah.
You know? So, Yeah.
Maybe because he didn't wanna reuse his real name, because it probably sounded corny, and it probably didn't want to be
Listen,
credited
we're
as
all
well.
our worst critic, right?
Yeah,
So, he could have been like, "Ah, no, I don't wanna use my name." But, like, someone has to come to him and be like, "Nah, dude, Kendrick Lamar is a great name. That's a great stage
yeah,
name. We're gonna use that." So, yeah.
yeah, probably wanna
It's
keep
ki
it private
and
too.
again, here's another one who changed his name, but technically didn't change his name, The
Mhm.
Weeknd. He technically doesn't go by The Weeknd anymore. He goes by his actual name. Now
Oh, yeah,
that
that's right.
could be considered a name change in, like,
Mhm,
the
mhm,
music industry sense,
mhm,
but that I also understand because that's different. It's like, okay, you're going from using a nickname to using your name,
mm,
and I don't know fully what his reasons are for doing that, but
mhm.
he has acted, so maybe he's just trying
Probably
to market himself where
yeah,
he's
transition. Yeah,
able to, get the acting gigs as well as do his music.
mhm,
So, I mean, again, it's a pretty smart idea.
yeah. Probably
So,
transition into
yeah,
acting. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
different.
Probably, yeah, yeah. Those are the only names that I know that, that, change. Otherwise than that, people would use their real names if they're doing, like, if they go into an acting role, but put their, like, their hip hop names, like a middle name, you know, like,
Mhm.
Sean, Jay-Z, Carter, or,
But
Curtis, 50 Cent, Jax,
that's
you know.
not so much there's not so much of them, like
Yeah, yeah, no,
that's usually how it goes, where you
yeah,
have an
yeah,
alias.
yeah,
Technically, like, you know, technically, like, Jay-Z or 50 Cent or
yeah,
Eminem,
yeah,
those are considered aliases. So you would always put, like, your actual name and then put your alias or your stage name in this sense
mhm, mhm,
in quotations,
yeah,
then followed
yeah,
by your last name.
yeah, yeah,
That's just typically how things are done. That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
proper way to do things.
yeah, yeah. Was that?
But,
Yeah, that's it. That's all
alright,
I have for that.
um, very quickly because we kind of ran a little longer on that
Yeah,
topic.
yeah.
Did you hear about this humanoid thing that Melania Trump was showing off at the White House? I think this
Oh,
was
yeah,
a few weeks ago.
I saw a little bit of that. They're just walking randomly by
Yeah.
beside it, and then it
She
was random.
apparently said that the f that, humanoid robot teachers could
Mhm.
soon become central to children's education, and people are unhappy about that,
What do
especially
you
the
what do you
teachers.
what do you mean about that? Like, the robot can teach? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
like a robot could teach your children instead of a human being. Yep, let that sink in.
Um,
I say no. No,
yeah,
thank you.
not e it c I mean, it can, but it doesn't have, like, the emotional factors towards, like,
That's
a
what I'm
human, and
exactly.
that's the thing. It can mathematically, solve problems, it can help you, but it doesn't have the emotional factor towards it, so that's definitely not going to happen, and then I wouldn't be surprised if it would happen, but, like, I don't
In
think
the
it will
future, yeah.
yeah, I don't think it will happen for
Well, I mean,
and
who
'cause I don't
knows,
think
right?
I don't think I mean, I don't know what the
You
school board is
hope not.
thinking.
You hope not. But
School
she
board thinking.
says
Mhm.
that a humanoid robot educator will provide a personalized experience adaptive to the needs of each student. Our children will develop deeper critical thinking and independent reasoning abilities. Yep.
Mm.
All right. Sure, sure, sure. I disagree, but some people in the MAGA universe are going to be like, I agree. No, no.
Yeah,
We have watched enough movies to know how this will turn out. Okay? The robots are gonna turn against us and we're all gonna be killed. Did no one watch iRobot?
Hmm.
Come on. Did nobody watch AI? Artificial Intelligence, the movie, I mean. Did nobody watch
I haven't still watched. I have to watch that.
Artificial Intelligence?
The
You might wanna
the
get on that now.
the AI doc. I had to watch. No, I was gonna watch that in theaters,
Which one?
but the AI documentary. I know Oprah had an interview with the directors and the producers. But
Of artificial intelligence?
the AI documentary.
No, that's probably different. There is
Oh,
a
oh,
movie
uh-huh.
with called Artificial Intelligence that would've been
Oh,
back in the early 2000s.
oh, okay. No, I never watched that
That's
movie.
yeah, or like I said, I, Robot. W Listen, I know I've seen
That's
artificial intelligence, it's been
the
a
yep.
while for me, but I, Robot sticks a little more clearer in my mind
Mhm,
'cause I own it somewhere in this house,
mhm.
and listen, the robot turns against us, okay? Did we not watch Megan? You wanna talk about personalized robot experience? That was killing people,
Mm.
okay? But have we learned nothing? Apparently not. So now you have this stupid Oompa Loompa's wife out here being like, "Humanoid robots will better experience." Shut the up. I don't like you either. I don't understand anyone who wants to be with that person. She
I think the whole administration is out of touch, in my opinion.
out of touch. Yeah, very much out of touch.
Yeah. So
On another planet,
yeah, yeah,
okay? God,
yeah.
it's just humanoid robots? This is what taxpayers' money is going towards, humanoid robots who are then gonna be teaching your children. Because again, we apparently watched Megan and thought, "That's a great idea." Meanwhile, the is killing people. I watched the movie. You wanna talk
Mm,
about personalized experience? Anyone who wronged that little girl got murdered by the robot. Jesus, it's just so
mm,
stupid. There is a reason these movies are out here is to educate us, okay? We don't need dinosaurs. We don't need robots. We don't need any of those things. Because next thing you know, you're going to get eaten by a T-Rex.
mm.
We learn nothing. We're such a. This is why we are not the superior uh, species. Anyways,
Yeah.
um,
That's pretty much it, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
There's one more thing I'll say here very quickly.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
For the
yeah.
person who stole 413,793 Kit Kat candy bars
Oh,
from, that was
no,
en route from Italy to Poland, give me, give me some. You don't need all of those.
I
Share.
don't. I'm pretty sure that person's probably been probably found. I heard
I
about
don't know if
them.
they were found. I don't think so. I don't think they were found. They stole all of these goddamn Kit Kat bars. I don't think they were found.
I know they came downtown and basically they were
Downtown where?
the Kit Kat the Kit Kat truck came t downtown Toronto and they were guarding
The
the
same. Well, yeah, because listen, there's a Kit Kat
yeah,
bandit out there.
yeah, yeah, so
It's not me, I swear, y'all. I
yeah,
love Kit Kat, but not that much.
yeah.
Well, I don't think I do. And well, try
Mhm,
me. I might steal 413,000 Kit Kats myself. So don't tempt me.
mhm,
But I wouldn't. That's on me. I didn't do it.
mhm.
Give me a break for real, for real. Jesus Christ. All the memes
Mhm,
that
mhm.
came out after this happened
Yeah,
was
yeah,
very funny.
yeah, yeah, it was funny. I
Give me
saw it.
a break indeed.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
I think that's it.
that's it. That's basically it for today's episode,
Yep.
and
And we'll be back tomorrow with another one.
alright,
All right.
sounds good.
Mm,
Peace, guys.
bye. If you liked what you heard with our podcast, you can head on over to our website, which is solo.to/next take podcast. There you can get any of the links to any of our social media, which is Facebook, Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod. You can also find links to our Reddit page and many other things, I'm sure. Can't remember all off the top of my head. You can also email us at mikeltanyka@gmail.com. There you can send us any inquiries you have, any questions, or also any episode ideas. And if you do have episode ideas, just make sure you put in the subject line episode ideas, and we'll add it to our list. If you also liked us, you can like us, rate us, follow us on any of your favorite podcast apps. You can rate us, however, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We would greatly appreciate that. And we'll also move forward and share or spot a light on those who give us 5-star ratings in the future. That is it for us. We'll see you next time for the episode.